My name is Liam Parker, and I never thought a simple act of kindness at 3 a.m. would change my entire life. It was a freezing Tuesday night, and I was driving home from an overnight shift at the hospital where I worked as a paramedic. The highway was nearly empty, blanketed in fog, when I noticed a car pulled over with its hazard lights blinking. As I got closer, I saw a young woman standing by the roadside, hugging herself tightly, clearly shivering. Something about the scene felt off, but my instincts as a medic kicked in before hesitation could stop me. I pulled over, rolled down the window, and said, "Hey, are you okay? Need some help?" She looked startled for a second, then her expression softened with relief. "Please, my car just died. My phone battery too. I've been here for an hour." Her voice trembled. She looked barely 21, wearing a light jacket far too thin for the cold. I got out of my car and checked her engine, but it was completely dead. I offered to give her a ride to the nearest gas station, which was still miles away. She hesitated at first, then nodded. "Thank you," she whispered. As we drove, she told me her name was Emily Rhodes, a college student who had been driving home from a late shift at her diner job when her car broke down. She was soft-spoken but polite, her gratitude genuine. I dropped her off at the station, helped her call for a tow truck, and waited with her until someone came. When everything was sorted, she smiled at me and said, "You probably saved me tonight." "Thank you, Mr. Liam," I said, shaking her hand. "Get home safe, Emily." I thought that was the end of it. Just another story of helping someone in need. But 2 days later, my phone rang while I was having breakfast. The number was unfamiliar. I answered, and a deep, serious voice said, "Is this Liam Parker?" "Yes," I replied cautiously. "Who's this?" There was a long pause before the man spoke again, his voice trembling slightly. "My name is Richard Rhodes. I'm Emily's father." My heart tightened. "Is she okay?" I asked immediately. There was another pause. "Mr. Parker," he said slowly, "I just wanted to thank you. You were the last person to see my daughter alive." My spoon slipped from my hand and clattered on the table. "What do you mean?" I asked, my voice shaking. She was found yesterday morning near an old rest area off Route 17, he said, voice breaking. Her car had been towed home, but she never made it. They're saying she might have been taken after the tow truck dropped her off. My breath caught. Images of her smile, her nervous laugh, flashed in my mind. I remembered watching her drive away, thinking she was safe. I don't understand," I stammered. "I dropped her at the station. I waited with her until the tow came." Richard sighed heavily. "I know. The police said you did everything right. I just needed to call you. She told me about you. Said a man named Liam stopped to help, said she felt safe for the first time that night. You were the last good person she met." I sat there frozen, unable to speak. For days, I replayed that night in my head, wondering if there was something, anything, I missed. The next week, I was called in by the police to give a statement. They asked about everything, what time I saw her, what she said, even what she was wearing. I told them everything I could remember, but one detail haunted me. As I dropped her off, I'd noticed a black pickup truck parked at the far end of the gas station lot, headlights off. I'd thought nothing of it then, maybe someone sleeping inside. But now, every time I closed my eyes, I saw those dark headlights and felt a chill crawl down my spine. I mentioned it to the detective, who nodded grimly. "You might have just given us the lead we needed." A week later, they called back to say they'd arrested someone, the tow truck driver. He'd been working under a fake name and had a record in another state. Emily never stood a chance once he offered her a ride home after the station closed. I sat alone in my apartment that night, staring at the wall, thinking about how close she had been to safety, how close I had been to saving her twice. The guilt ate at me, but Richard called again a few days later. "Liam," he said softly, "they caught him. It's over. My wife and we wanted to thank you again. Emily trusted you enough to tell us about you. You were her guardian angel that night. Don't blame yourself." I didn't respond right away, because words felt small compared to the weight of what he'd said. After the call, I drove out to the stretch of highway where I'd found her, parked my car in the same spot, and sat in silence. The air was cold again, the same lonely wind whispering through the trees. I closed my eyes and said a quiet prayer, for Emily, for her parents, and for every stranger driving alone in the dark. That night taught me something I'll never forget. Sometimes kindness can't save everyone, but it still matters. Because in the moments before tragedy, even a small act of humanity can be the last light someone sees in this world.